Now, Africa, see, one of the things that we haven't done well, okay, and it shows from our discussion. You see, Africa is a big place, and we have 1.34 billion people, majority of them very young people. So we as a continent are a market itself.
Yes.
But we haven't taken advantage of our market. Okay. So that is what the African Continental Free Trade area is supposed to help us with. So what do you see on the horizon, and what are the major challenges to the success of the African wide venture of the free area?
I think it's a massive, massive opportunity. And I think it's, if done right, it can change the trajectory of Africa. You see, if we have the an Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which we already have, but that is fully operational. I think right now there's around maybe close to 40 countries that have actually ratified. But, you know, there's like 50
countries?
40, I think close to 40. Last time I checked, which was like or beginning of this year or last year, I think it was like around 35 or 36 countries. But if every African nation actually went on board with this, I don't think we need to trade with anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, but the problem is that I think that Africans still don't believe that we can do business with each other, and we don't need. Our goals are still to do business with the United States of America and to do business with China, to do business with Europe. But our goals is not to do business with our neighbors. You know, like we can't think in Tanzania. I can't think of, Gabon, for example. You know, forget about Gabon. We even have, before the Africa Free Trade Area that exists, there's regional blocks that have been existing before that. How well are those functioning? You know,
how well is ECOWAS
yes, how well is
West Africa?
ECOWAS, or how well is the East African community functioning? You know, there's been, I think, the East African community, there's the protocol for free movement of services, people, you know, goods, capital. And I think that we're supposed to fully integrate in 2012. There was a grace period given until 2015, but you look now, it's 2023. And apart from the customs unions, which is the first phase of integration, when we move into the free movement of people, not enough has been done. We're seeing now, you know, Kenya has, and there are countries that are playing their part, like Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, but there are other countries, unfortunately, that are a lot slower on kind of implementing. And that's what I'm worried about for the Africa Free Trade Area, is that we have regional blocks already that exist. And unfortunately, are they really fully functional? No. Are they even 50% functional? No. They're below 50%. So now we're moving into this massive free trade area, which is a huge opportunity, but I'm just a little bit skeptical in terms of like, will every nation, African nation, really play their part? Or are we going to see the same usual suspects, you know, that are championing this, but others are kind of still going to be on the wall, on the fence, not really fully committing, not really, not really implementing what needs to be implemented. That's something that the first thing that I'm kind of a little bit skeptical about. The second thing I think is that in terms of the actual implementation, so as a lawyer, you can have law, but it's dead law if it can't be operational. And how is it operational? It's operational when you actually create rules and regulations, so very specific rules and regulations that are actually going to be implementing the mother law. So now we're at the implementation stage. And I think that what I'm going to say maybe is a little bit unpopular, but I think it needs to be said, is that we're involving development partners to do the implementation of our own rules. And those development partners come from Germany and, from other countries. And I'm a little bit skeptical about that, because I don't think that there is, when the European Union were coming up with their rules for, integrating their area, I don't think you had any African experts writing the rules there or even being consulted.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little bit skeptical about that. I think that in Africa, of course, we are used to this development partners. They're helping us develop. They've been helping us develop. They're going to help us develop
for the last 40 years, and yet
yes.
we're still
they're helping us
needing
develop.
them today.
Yes, they're helping us develop, and we're still not developing, and they're helping us to develop. I'm gonna, but I'm just a little bit skeptical about something like this that I think has to be fully owned by Africa. And it's a little bit difficult for me to believe that there are no African experts, whether on the continent, but also the diaspora. I think
Exactly.
the diaspora is massive, that we can't use those resources, and that it has to be
See,
people.
I would say, let me talk about the Lagos country. If you go to London here or go to New York, the financial capitals of the world, right? I'm sure if you go to any of the big financial institutions and you go to their legal departments, or you go to big law firms in these places, I'm sure you won't pass 2-3 of those firms before you find a very senior lawyer who is African. I'm sure about that. Why am I sure? Because I know some of them. Okay, some of them are friends. So, see, if we really want to do these things, our continent must be ready to bring back some of our people from wherever they are.
Yeah.
We need to entice them to come home.
Yeah.
To do the work we need them to do. Because they are doing this kind of work for their firms.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we think this program is very, very important for the continent, we must be willing to drag them back. Okay. Of course, drag them back with incentives.
Yeah.
Rather than, like you mentioned, European Union didn't invite Africa to help them, or maybe I don't know. I don't believe they invited the US to help them. Okay.
Absolutely. And I think that goes back to, we need to trust each other. We need to trust each other. We need to trust each other as Africans to trade with one another, to do business with one another, but also to use and share our knowledge and exchange our knowledge with one another. And unfortunately, I think that one of the remnants of colonialism is the profound mistrust that we have for one another.
I have a different view of that. I don't think that mistrust comes from colonialism. It comes from our diversity and the way we have been with one another even before colonialism. See, if you, if you read Mokadima, yeah, I think that's what it's called, by Ibn Khaldun, a 14th century scholar, a Tunisian scholar. He talks about Asabiya. See, check it out later. See, the thing is that tribes have that tendency to not trust the next tribe. Okay, it has always been there. So for me, if we want to start trusting each other in the modern world now, well, the legal system will help us. If we build a legal system that is impartial, okay, now it will take time, okay, for it to work. But if we build a system and start working 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, now when you and I do business together and the system works in a very impartial way and it does what it's supposed to do when we have disputes, after a while, we start trusting each other. Even in Europe, okay, the Germans and the English and the French didn't trust each other. They fought a lot of wars. But today, they trust each other better than they used to because of the system they have built together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So I think we need to build those systems that will eventually help us integrate better. You know. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Wow. See, I really want us to do our best to make this agreement work. See, like you said, where the market, if it works correctly, it will develop Africa to such a level that when we go out there, our other external partners will be more willing to invest in the continent and work with us as equals.
Absolutely. And I think that together, the African markets are a lot more have a more a bigger value proposition for investors as well, if they know that they can come and invest in 53, 40 markets easily, and that there are no barriers. I mean, that's a total game changer as well.
Wow, that's good. See, as I talk to you, I get excited, and at the same time, I get worried because I see the enormity of the work we need to do.
Yeah.
You see, but hey, overall, I'm excited. See, Africa is the place to be. I'm telling you, I've been preaching it before my injury, because I was preaching it to my friends that, hey, we need to go back. We need to go back. Unfortunately, many of them have gone back. I'm here.
Soon
Yeah.
you
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.